This is Matt. I'm here with Ron today with this week's edition of Ask Ron. Ron, how you doing today?
I'm outstanding, man. And we better tell everybody you're brand new to the flock. So glad to have you. And this is the first time you've done this, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Well, don't worry. All you got to do is ask questions. I do the hard work.
I think I can handle that. All right. Am I ready?
Yep.
All right. The first question we have today is from Evengii from Nevada.
Okay.
Evengii says, when I pay a sub-2 mortgage, the lender will send to the IRS the copy of the 1098 with the original borrower's social security number and not mine. When the IRS checks my return against their info, they won't find the matching report from the lender about the interest I paid. So the IRS won't complain if my seller incorrectly deducts the interest, but they will raise questions if I rightfully deduct that interest. How do I deal with this?
Well, you don't deal with it. You just tell your accountant what you are doing. You have proof you made the payment. That's all the IRS needs. It's unlikely the seller will claim it, but if they do, they're just shooting off their own foot. It's not going to affect you. And it is true, they're going to get a 1098 from the lender. So the best thing for them to do is just have them send everything that they get from the lender to you and make sure they know they cannot deduct that interest, because they can't. They can't deduct interest they're not paying. Now, worst case, your CPA deals with the IRS if and when they ever challenge it.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to the next question. This one's from Larry from Kansas. Larry goes, I have a FSBO offering 20 acres of undeveloped land for $197,000 that has a water and electric established and is next to a highly desired neighborhood estate. It would need to be divided into lots for building. Is this worth looking at, and how would you structure it?
Well, that's a tough question to answer with that limited information, but that's what we do all the time with my commercial mastermind group. We take pieces of land and turn them into higher and better use. It sounds like at that price, that land is pretty well priced, but I don't know the rest of the story. So you'd have to collect all of the facts about it, and especially what's going on around it. Try to figure out the highest and best use from that. And honestly, I can't help you on that unless you're a member of my commercial group, because my mentors only deal with single family houses. And I only work with commercial houses in the commercial mastermind group. And if you haven't been to my commercial boot camp, you probably are not ready for that yet. So why don't you check with your mentor, see if your mentor, you got to give them enough facts. What you just gave me is not even enough to get started. And maybe your mentor can go into my commercial manual and get you a property information sheet to fill out, and then we can take it from there. If I take a look at it and I want it, there might be a finder's fee in it. But you know, here's what happens all the time. People send me this stuff, they don't hardly send me any of the information, and I can't make it up. So if you don't go collect it all, I can't help you. Now, of course, I know you're not going to get it all, so we can always come back to you and tell you what you want, but you might get a finder's fee out of it if we actually were to purchase it.
All right. Thanks for that, Ron. Moving on to the next one, we have Rod from Oregon. Rod says, my seller has his ex-wife's name on the title deed and she is nowhere to be found. Just what are his options, if any? Can his attorney have her name and removed from the title deed?
No, she's got to sign it, man, if she's alive. So you're going to have to get a private investigator to find her. It's that simple, because this title is not transferring without both signatures, and nothing your attorney can do to circumvent that unless you can prove that she's gone with a death certificate.
All right. And the last one we have here is from Charity. She does not list her location, but Charity goes, hello, I want to buy a lot of land without borrowing money. The land is being sold for $34,900 and the seller is willing to accept $25,000 for it. Can you offer advice on the best course of action to acquire land without borrowing money when you don't have enough actual cash on hand?
Well, yeah, but it's hard for me to give you advice on that limited information. What is the land worth? What is it going to be used for? Are you getting into a trap, or is this a deal worth even you chasing? Geez, you could give me at least something here to work with, because I can't tell you how to handle that one. Now, I buy land all the time with owner financing. In fact, that's pretty much the only way I want to buy it, but I put up the down payment. So if you can't put up the down payment, you're just going to have to work with somebody who can. Why do my students bring me the deals? Because I'm putting up the down payment so they don't have to. So you're going to have to get somebody else to do it, or talk the seller out of it. Or maybe you can tell the seller, I'll buy it, but it has to be with nothing down. But before you do all of that, you've got a lot of information to collect. And you don't just need to buy land to buy land. There has to be a use for it. It has to be worth much more than it is now. What do I have to do to it? What's it worth after I do this to it? What's it zoned now? What's it should be zoned? What's around the land? What's the best thing for me to do with the land? These are all questions got to be answered. And if it's houses, what price range houses are around it? So I'll know what I can deal with to determine what the lots will be worth. Commercial pre-screening is totally different than single family.
All right. Sounds like we need a lot more details from Charity.
Yeah. Of course, if you got a credit card, you can always put it on that as well. There's plenty of ways to raise money, but you don't have to give up half the deal just to raise a lousy $7,000 or $8,000. I can tell you that right now. Because once you determine it's a deal, that's what scares me the most. Then you can always get somebody to put up the money and give them back I don't know, 25%. Let's say they loan you $8,000. When they pay you back, you get 10 grand. And then you better have your exit strategy in mind, because they're going to ask, well, when is that going to be? So if your plan is just to buy this land and then resell it, still give yourself plenty of time, because land doesn't sell anywhere near as fast as houses do. All
right, Ron, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you, sir.
Wait a minute. I got to tell her, though, that if you get some information, I might buy it myself and pay you a finder's fee. But I don't partner with anybody that's not in my commercial mastermind group. All right. What do we got coming up, Matt? Let me think. Oh, October the 9th. We got a free 5-hour seminar. You guys go down and get registered for that. And I'm going to be screening live deals in the last hour that you guys send in and showing you how these deals get done and what they're worth to you. I got to tell you, the last boot camp we did 17 deals during that boot camp. 17 deals that were done for the first 3 days of that 4-day boot camp. Because you send in the leads, then a couple of my mentors got on the telephone and called them, made the deals right on the telephone. That amounts to about $1.4 million in assets and over $800,000 in projected upfront non-refundable deposits, and about $10,500 a month in positive cash flow. Guys, if you get your head around this and quit looking for excuses to fail, this thing can be very, very, very lucrative for you. My team and I just came from a 2-day mastermind with some real estate entrepreneurs. Some of those guys are doing 150, 250 deals a year. And now you better ask yourself, well, golly, how do I get going? What's the difference between me and them? How come they can do it? I can't. They know better than I am. They're certainly not any better looking. The answer is they first got to get started. In fact, a big chunk of the room were people who came to me and got started, same way you do, get a deal, did another deal, and gradually worked their way up to as far as they wanted to go in life. This is a beautiful business. You better latch on to it while you can. I don't care what's going on out there. I don't care. COVID doesn't stop our business. It actually helps it. I don't care who's president, but I care, but not as far as our real estate goes. We just adapt to the market as the market makes us adapt. People always need a place to live. Other people always need to sell, and it makes no difference what city you live in. That's always going to be the case. So don't use it. Doesn't work here for an excuse, because that's absolute baloney. It works everywhere in the United States where humans live. See you next week.
All right. Thanks, Ron.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Bye.